And I just want to write your pitches on here so I don't have to remember it. I'm keeping your pitches a quarter, right? What they were on the other ball?
I
thought I was moving one. One was going to have more reverse, right?
It kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go lefty.
No, we're talking about the players that tournament champions to the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town Country Lanes. I'm your host, Kyle Haines, and with me is the assistant to the host, Anthony Scaccia.
Can I lean in today?
Sure.
Or am I?
Sure, you can do whatever you want.
Welcome to the show, folks. The new blue is coming to you at home.
In November.
Mine will be here next week.
That's right. Let's see here. On tonight's show, we are obviously going to be talking about the new blue, which is Hammer.
The PBA rule changes we should probably touch on.
We'll talk about that, why this even happened. And yeah, we'll also talk about a couple other PBA things. Anthony brought to my attention about the LBC. But first and foremost, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. And you can always email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. Check out the social pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So, say hello to our friend Matt, Chloe, what's going on, and Michael Polke, what's happening, guys?
Don't forget about Matthew.
Thanks for.
Did you say Matthew?
Tonight. I said his name. That was the first one on the list.
Wow, I'm
I
out.
went down the list, straight down the list.
What's up, all?
So, how's your week this week?
Well, I think should we touch base on we bowled last weekend?
Where did we bowl last weekend?
Glens Falls.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can talk about
Hello.
last weekend. What's up, Michael John?
Look at my hair. Whoa. Me and Matthew bowled this weekend. Matthew Fazone.
Sorry, Matt. Sorry that you're sad about this.
To be honest with you, I struck a boatload the first game. We bowled on 43 feet. It was a Baker's doubles format. For the first 3 games, I struck quite a bit. I had a really good look, moved to the low end. Things didn't look good for me. Matt, my partner, then struck for the next 3. So game 6, 3 through 6, or 4 through 6, he struck. 1 through 3, I struck. In a Baker's format, that doesn't work. you're supposed to strike at the same time.
Yes. That was correct.
And then Kyle's trying to fix that, Michael.
There we go.
Maybe he just-
Check 1, 2.
Anyways, after that, we got
Oh, by the way, let's just say no Austin tonight. Austin is sick. That's why we're screwing this all up.
This is why we can't have nice things.
You guys should be able to hear me now, though. Go ahead, Ant.
So then the final 2 games, game 7 and 8, was an 8-game thing. Game 7 and 8, we actually hit the pocket 23 out of 24 times. That doesn't mean you're going to strike every time, but I think we were like plus 10 or 15 for the next 2 games. So we just couldn't get him to fall over. The cut was plus 200. We ended up plus 67. Overall, I got asked back to be his partner. I was a little surprised because I stink, but I will be better next time. I actually thought I bowled halfway decent. I asked him at the end or the next day. I said, did I throw it all right, or did I throw like a piece of garbage?" And what about EJ next to Fizz? That's good. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate it. But yeah, so we did pretty well. We just didn't strike a lot. There was a few things that looked pretty good up there, and just the cookie didn't crumble. It just didn't crumble that way. So it was a good time. We lost some money, but
I believe what you mean by that is Nick and I and you and Matt earned the exact same amount of bracket money, and we entered in about
half of what we did.
At least half of what you guys did.
Well, the one game I think Matt went and looked at the end, and we lost 15 brackets by 5 pins, and we both opened in the 9th and 10th. So one of those spares would have been nice to have. We probably would have broke even because we shot 240 the next game.
Yeah.
Which was a good score up there. So,
Paul, I love this comment. Why don't more team leagues do at least one Baker game? Seems only youth and college bowl Baker. I totally love that idea. Like instead of doing like a high-low or something, like a lot of leagues do high-lows mid-season.
Why not Baker?
You could throw a Baker in there instead of high-low. You could even do it for position rounds. Like that'd be pretty cool, I think. But
you have to find a way to handicap it, Paul. I think that's the problem with Baker is that in college and in these youth events, they are more they're all scratch.
Right.
Typically. In this case, you have to find out how to handicap it, which I've run one before where it is handicapped. And if somebody gets into a roll-off, it is not fun to say you get 7.5 pins, all right, in these next 3 shots. So I think that's the thing. You'd have to make it a scratch league. I think the scratch league, you'd have to cap it. And then you could probably run it that way. But It is a good format to run. It's something we didn't talk about last week. What is the best format to run in tournaments?
Baker we talked about doubles and Baker's doubles.
I'm talking 5 or 4.
Oh, real Bakers.
Real Bakers.
Yeah,
real
that's a good time. But Nick and I were up there as well. Nick Harris and myself, and we kind of had, I guess, a similar issue, except that Nick was striking, I don't know, 85% of the time, I think. And same problem as I had up there last time. I could not get the ball to just do what I wanted it to through the pins.
So tell the folks what you did, Kyle.
Well, out of sheer
anger?
No, not anger, just I don't know, guessing. I just said, you know what, this week I'm gonna also because of the choices that I have, I decided to bring my 15s to Glenn's
Not
Falls.
just the 15s.
15s and 14s.
Okay, that's better. So I ended up having to bring Kyle home, and he ended up putting bowling ball bags in my truck, and there was 3, and I was like, all right, sounds about normal, 3 bags for this. You shouldn't need any more than that.
Yeah.
And then he brought out like another 4.
2.
And I was like, Kyle, how many freaking bowling balls did you bring? He goes, well, I brought 15s and 14s. I didn't know what I wanted to use today.
I'll tell you what, though, I was throwing it much better with the 15s than I was with the 14s.
So does that mean you're back to 15?
Well, we'll see how it goes tonight.
So now the funny part is after the whole grip change 2 weeks ago, for me, Kyle's partner actually got a grip change before he went and bowled the tournament. Not all of his bowling balls, just one, and he's like, "Whoa, this is much better than what I've been using." And I was like, "Well, that's good." So then he ended up flipping over, which I have a few more balls of his to fix. And then just so happened I found a ball in the back, and I've been telling Kyle to get refit for the past 2 weeks, and we finally did something.
Yelling at me. forced me to do it.
Basically, I plugged the ball and said, "Here it is. What are we gonna do?" So
Yeah.
not only did Kyle come in and get another refit, another thing is we also have Matt, who's also taking a look at how you're throwing it.
Yeah.
So you're getting a second opinion
Mhm,
on
mhm.
extra pitches, which we've also.
What did he just say? He just said that I should go even further out.
Yeah, he wants you to do a 3/4. We're not there yet. I told him maybe one day. Let's start small and dream big. But so now Kyle's trying to refit, and he's still doing a CLT, but he's going to 15 CLT, and then we're actually going to make him a little longer with some more reverse pitch.
He wants me to go to Prather pitches, huh?
Yeah, I don't think that's that's like almost an introverse, which is
Oh my god!
yeah.
But he also tears the cover off the ball, so like
he saws on
he
it.
throws it kind of good. Yeah.
So, well, he won't hit it on the upswing. Well,
That's
Matt,
true, Matt.
that's true. But he also thumbs the crap out of it. I've told him he's like, I need more pitch. I was like, well, you keep thumbing it. Why are you gonna have more thumb pitch? You're gonna grab it more.
Yep. Well,
You might as well stay at 0 or 16.
0. I could not get out of the ball.
Anyways, stop grabbing so hard. But that was
So
our
that's
weekend.
EJ Tackett.
You're not EJ tagging. I don't, so I don't need to say anything.
You're right.
But it was definitely good.
Lefter.
So it was a good weekend. I got out of that tournament, and I actually said to myself, man, even though today was not a great day on the lanes, statistically wise, I actually did have I had a good time.
I will tell you,
I meshed pretty well, so I'm looking.
Yeah.
For that.
I mean, not nearly as good as Nick and I, but yeah,
We
but-
beat you guys, and
yeah, by like 50 pins. Those are the spares that I missed.
okay. Well, we also never struck.
So
Maybe you didn't strike.
I will grieve a little bit about the format. So I think this was Nick and I's first time bowling the Bakers up there.
That was my second time, and the format was exactly not the format. The getting there, waiting to get your lane draw, but the format was different than the last time I bowled. Because
Okay.
normally it was the player always went on the left lane, always was on the left lane, and the player on the right lane was always on the right lane, which was the case. But they did flip the scores like league style. They did not do that. So
No.
I literally got the odd frames every time.
Right. So the only thing that we did was say, all right, I like this lane better and I like this lane better, so we'll bowl there. Not expecting that we were going to be odds and evens the whole time.
Right.
So Nick,
He did announce it, by the way, but I thought it was a mis-announcement.
Oh.
Like it was like
kind of like the skip.
well, yeah, they told us to move 2, and it was really 1, and we went to the low end, but we were really on the high end. So
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck? But then I saw you kind of talking to the director, like, what is it? And then everybody was also confused.
Yeah, no, everyone was like, "Wait, I have to bowl in the same position all day long." Like, so for me and Nick is striking a boatload, right? And then I'm kind of trying to make guesses, and like I'm in the pocket the whole time, just not striking. And then my problem is like Nick's finishing the 10th frame, which is good, but also for me, I get no free looks, like no test balls in the 10th frame. So that was a bit frustrating. I mean, it just means you have to waste a ball at some point. Or
So
hopefully get lucky.
we ended up doing stuff in the first frame because when I had to get out of urethane, because I was striking a load with urethane, and then it looked bad for a game. He's like, all right, we got to get out of it. And I was like, I agree. And then all of a sudden I found a look in the spare, and he's like, no, stay in it. I was like, all right. And then I finally got out of it. And then my ball reaction was still bad. So I kind of, and it's tough because in a Baker's format, as you don't go on the right lane. You don't get 12 frames. You get after the first shot, you get 4 more.
Right.
Especially if you're the odds, right? So, if making a move and not striking again, now I'm in the back of the frame. Do I need to make a ball change or do I just need to make another jump? It actually made it a little bit harder to bowl. Which there is no excuse. Like, I'm not making an excuse about it. I should have bowled a little bit better. I should have known my equipment a little bit better. I should have done something a little different. But a lot of the times my ball reaction was close and I thought I could make it work. And it just, obviously it wasn't there. I didn't get 2 shots and have the rest of the game that, this ain't it. I got 2 shots and then I'm already in the back of the game. Yeah. And I know, all right, well, I'm going to hit the head pin. I know I can make my spare because we were really making our spares well.
But just think about it too, like
have anything to shoot at.
If like in our case, which again I didn't help at all, but like let's say I just think switching the numbers makes it more even across the board as far as lucky for us, Nick was finishing the 10th frame, but it also kind of I think even things out if you're flip flopping the 10
Yeah.
frames because you may not have a guy that's bowling well,
Yeah.
me, or buckles under the pressure of 10 frames. You know what I mean?
I
So,
think it could have made a difference for us a little bit because I would have gotten to finish up the second game. We did shoot 230 anyway, so I don't think it would have changed. But going down the line, if I had a better look than him and I got to finish, it would have helped us out a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I
I
just
don't think
you,
it would have changed our
you
results.
should, if you're going to stay in the same lane, which is fine, the score should flip flop so that it changes up the lineup. Or if you're going to do it the way they did it, where your team stays on that lane all day long, meaning it doesn't flip flop like league, or like bowling, not even league. Bowling, you switch games anyway, switch lanes for games. But anyway, then you should be able to adjust your lineup every 2 games or every 4 games or something.
Right.
But yeah, so
yeah, it was definitely an
That was the only
interesting
thing that-
format.
was annoying about the tournament, other than the late start. Like usual.
It didn't bother me too much because the other thing too is like with the new grip, Matt was throwing the ball really well. I did say he was elbowing it the first few frames, and it triggered after when he started to bowl better. He's like, "Oh man, now I know what you're saying." Like I thought it was just my feet. I was like, "No, you were elbowing it a little bit." And would it have made a difference the first game? No. Would have made a difference the second game? No. Would have made a difference the third game? Probably. I don't think so. So for us, it wouldn't have made too much of a difference because he struck out in most of those situations. So it wasn't too big of a deal. But to make it more even, I thought we were a pretty good team. If there's a team that has a weaker bowler in a scratch event and then they have a really strong player, it kind of makes it so that way we don't have an advantage anymore because we are 2 stronger players.
Right.
Now you're giving a weaker player and a stronger player the advantage because that stronger player always finishes.
Yeah.
Not like I said, it doesn't really bother me because everybody bowled in the circumstances, obviously, and it is what it is. I mean, it probably wouldn't have changed our score too much, but it would have given me at least a fill ball. So that's the only thing that really would have changed. So maybe it would have changed here or there, but it was a good event. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I left that place saying, I really actually enjoyed my time, even though we didn't do as well as we'd hoped, because I just liked the bowl. So it was just a good overall time. And I felt like we were competitive no matter what. You know what I mean? So that was also important.
That's good. I didn't make spares again. Actually, that's not true.
You're back at 15 now.
I just missed a few spares.
Saved.
All right. So let's talk about this new blue.
The new blue
hammer.
Very exciting.
First and foremost, let's talk about why this is even happening. Where the PBA instituted the urethane rule, which is it must meet 78 hardness, and resin is 73.
Yes.
So
and they can't be in the resin. No ball can be over 2 years old either.
Right. Well, right. Yeah. So
that's the new rule.
Right.
That's the new ball specification rule happening after the RPI. So that will be after January 7th, I believe. So I think the 8th that will go into effect.
Yeah. So all manufacturers have to comply to this, meaning your urethane has to be 78, or Hammer took a different course of action and came up with their cover stock called not urethane.
Yes, which is a very interesting point. I've heard a lot of stuff about it.
What the hell does that even mean? Not urethane.
So unfortunately, a lot of the guys who would have came on the show are doing seminars and they're currently driving. So it didn't work. But we will have more information next week for sure, because I'm going to a seminar on Monday, and I'm sure that the talk of the seminar will be about this new blue. But let's start backwards. I don't think it's resin, and I don't think it's urethane. So people are going to say, well, they copied the motive lineup of the soy polymers or whatever they're called, microcell. Which you can say that absolutely. But
what's up, Steely Bones?
You have to remember, the better than urethane bowling balls came out 2016 maybe. So that was actually the first not urethane like motion on the market.
Yeah.
It was called the BTU, better than urethane by Brunswick. We drilled. I wasn't drilling at the time, but we drilled quite a few of those, and we had a lot of people. Your dad had one. He had the pearl one that looked like a Christmas ornament.
The gold or the silver one? Yeah. Yep.
And so,
that's right. The BTU.
Yeah.
Now it's
that
coming back
ball
to me. Yep.
actually was the first of its kind that I know of. Okay. I believe, if I'm correct, the microcell came out a little bit later, or the koi pump, whatever they call it. The tanks came out a little bit later than that. So people saying that they copied, it doesn't really matter, because those balls, they've had one previous. Motors has got theirs, and I guarantee you that before December, Storm will have theirs coming out. because I don't believe that they're going to have urethane at 78D. We'll have to see what
Right.
Matt says. 'cause
Well,
Matt-
we talked
maybe-
to Zone, and he's talking about how the mix is well over 70. It's in the 80s.
Yeah, the mix is basically a hybrid plastic.
Yeah,
urethane.
that's what he was telling us, that he thinks it's mostly urethane or something like that, or whatever.
Yeah,
But
that's why it's called a mix.
yeah, but it's a
It's
mixture.
a blend
yeah,
of it.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not sure what the percentages are though.
Right, but
It's also made in
again,
the
that's
Brunswick
well in the
plant. I think it's made in the
80s.
Brunswick plant.
Of course, it would be.
I think it really is.
But that's up in the 80s. So the ball, and Nick's got one. He uses it for his spare ball.
Yeah.
The ball definitely hooks in the dry, but it does not do in oil what urethane is able to do, which is
70,
read.
a 73D one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's debatable. I think if you sand that up, I think you'll get plenty of ball motion out of it. Just because if you sand it up, it's gonna hook more. Now, it might
I mean,
not
I
be,
get that, but
it
it's
might not-
definitely not going to do what
No.
the
Do you really
urethane
need it?
will be.
Do you
I
really
did.
need it to do that much? If you're on cheetah and guys can't control the mid lane, you throw a freaking.
Okay, then why aren't they using mixes now?
Because they can't.
Well, they can.
They can, but why would you when you have pitch black and purple available?
I understand.
That's what I'm saying. Your
But
options are not. Limited.
What I'm saying is, I think it's way too drastic of a difference between urethane and the mix that it's not going to do what the guys need it to do, in my
I
opinion.
mean, it probably won't. I don't know. There's a possibility. It can't.
Anita, can it make the great boards hook?
No. Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
No. It can't do that. But the other thing too is that the variety will be shrunken. You won't be able to have the fast pitch purples, fever pitch. Not like they threw them anyways, but pitch blacks. You know, they're not going to be as readily available. Attitude controls, purple hammers, you know, whatever you may have you.
So Chloe makes a good point. This is where my thinking was headed in the beginning, as when they announced it, was wonder if it will have the same reaction as the purple reactive.
So the greatest part about that is that I did reach out to Dave Wadka, and he actually sent me a video. But there are actually, if you are out there on the internet, please go to YouTube. Packy Hanneran has one out, and he does a pretty good analysis on it, on long too. So it is definitely a good. Scroll down to the numbers, Kyle. We can talk about that.
Yeah. So
But
if you're watching on the YouTubes, we got
Yeah.
the website up here from Hammer with
Yep.
the different numbers like RG and differential,
Right.
and then we'll pull up their I don't know what this is officially called, but the
That's the not urethane core.
well, yeah, but I'm saying
cover.
the I don't know what they call this diagram with the
Power stuff.
Yeah,
Like that's the strength of the ball. That's
Right.
what Hammer uses. But anyways, Packy's video was really good. It actually, to answer that question, I've seen a few videos of one-handers throw it, and I saw Packy's video. It looks like it's about 2 boards stronger, and it's got a little bit more down lane, which is to be expected because it's not truly urethane.
right.
But it really looks like it's going to play the part of the purple pretty well. So if you're looking to replace that ball, if you're looking to replace that ball as a tournament player or whatever, because you just don't want to throw the purple, which you'd be crazy not to, the blue is going to be extremely close.
And watching the videos that I saw, I agree. It looked very close. I just don't.
It's just not going to be urethane.
No, not even that. I'm just saying I don't like to be like, that's the one that's going to be just like it until I actually see it.
right.
You know
So,
what I mean?
I mean, off of the videos, it looks close enough to where it'll be a good option. It's obviously not going to be purple. But at the same time, they're just trying to
Meaning
create it.
it's not going to be the same as purple.
It's not
Yeah,
purple.
we know it's not purple because it's blue. No, what I'm saying is,
Yeah,
it's,
I
you know,
understand. What you're saying,
yeah. Just to be
it's
clear.
not purple. It's blue. It's new blue. But yeah, it's not going to be that purple hammer. But like I said, it's extremely close.
Well, that's why I pulled these numbers up, because like you've got for 15, you have 2.586 RG and a 2.7 differential.
Now-
And if we go to the purple hammer right here,
the purple will be a
and
lower
the- and
differential.
the strength numbers were 2
2
points
points
higher.
lower. The blue is higher. The
Yeah.
purple is lower.
Right. So,
The core, because the core is stronger.
which I don't understand, because
I can
it's the
explain
same
it.
core.
But I can explain it.
All right, give me 1 second. So then in the 15, you got 265 and 015 for RG and differential for purple for the urethane. So the numbers are definitely different, especially in the differential.
Absolutely.
That's
Take a look at the purple reactive while you're there.
right. So I'm going to pull that up in a second, but you can see that the core is weaker on the purple, stronger on the blue. The what is this guy up here again? The
I have
finish is I think 9.5 on the blue.
I have the cards.
But and then the cover is very close. It might be exactly.
Both of them are 3.5. Yeah.
But it still ends up being a 2-point difference between the.
Right.
And what does that mean on the lane? It just means it's a little stronger.
Got a little bit more, I think, left to right.
Yeah.
Than the purple will have. Do you want me to explain why it's different?
Yeah. Talk about the core. Why is the core?
So the core is the numbers are
It's
different.
the same.
It's not the core that
Right.
makes the difference. When you're going from this would be a good option to replace my crack storm IQ. Probably not. Just get another IQ tour.
Yeah.
Because they still make that ball.
For sure. And it's a great ball.
It's an unbelievable ball. Just buy another one, and you will be the happiest man alive. So because you do kill that ball. But this ball's going to be earlier on the lane. So the reason for this piece being a little bit different, if you go down the numbers here, Kyle, the numbers should be closer here to the blue hammer. It should be
almost identical.
Yes. So the reason for this is because when you have the urethane piece versus the resin or the not urethane, whatever material, even though the cores are exactly the same, the densities between the three materials are different. So the reason that the urethane ball or the new blue ball is closer to the reactive is because the reactive's density and the new not urethane, the new blues cover are closer to the reactive side of things. I would now that's not like for sure information that it's closer to reactive.
Yeah, we're speculating or
because of the numbers, the densities are closer to that. Then when you go to the urethane piece, the densities on that are different. So that's why you see different numbers with the same cores. Because all three balls at 15 pounds will be a two-piece bowling ball. So you will have the coefficient restitution, which is probably a little bit different, but closer to the same. So that way your pin carry will be a little bit higher.
Well, similar to the purple.
Yeah, it'll be close enough, but your pin carry is also higher with two-piece balls typically.
Yeah, because you don't have as much
filler in there.
Right. And
that's why they use dynamic core, but
right.
In this case,
I definitely notice a difference with the two-piece versus a three-piece. It makes a big difference, I think. I mean, look at purple. It enters the pocket so straight. Like, I mean,
it strikes everywhere.
But you can hit the whole pocket and strike.
Yeah.
It's just by getting those pins to move around.
Always got the pins to move. It's always got it to dance. So I'm actually fixing up my purple reactive right now. I already have a purple hammer urethane fixed up to my new grip. And I should have this ball on Monday. So that means I guess I should probably start putting up some videos of it or maybe making small videos.
That's what we're going to do. Is it's not going to be necessarily a review, but it's going to be a comparison so that you guys can get an idea of difference between blue and purple, and then the difference between blue, purple, and purple reactive.
It'll be you'll be able to show a wide range of why the cover stocks are different, and what the difference is between urethane, the new not urethane cover stock, and then the resin cover stock. It's just kind of an annoying name.
Right.
I like how they marketed it because it's not urethane.
Well, listen, this is what they did. It's their big middle finger to the PBA, I think, anyway. So that because of, and we'll get into another topic here, but because of what I call players having too much control over the rules, they are able to make those rule changes so that they try to knock out urethane as much as they can, which I get it. I get the part where the urethane gets softer, but like, again, I fall back on the point that it's an old technology, and if you can't beat it, then join it. Like, why are you getting angry at the urethane? Pitch black is good, purple's good. Why are we trying to knock it out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more for the fact that because purple is so widely used, and it's so good at what it does.
The pitch black. I mean, the pitch.
Yeah, but everybody complains about the purple hammer. I literally,
guess, yeah.
like everybody, I walked up to a
Probably
girl the other
because they
day.
don't know that the black ball going down the lane is a pitch black. They're probably not paying. Like, the average league guys probably don't understand
Yeah,
the
but,
difference.
like,
But the purple is so obvious.
I walked into an event this week, and somebody's like, "Oh, are you gonna throw purple?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Listen, I could do the same thing with a pitch black if I really wanted to.
Right.
Like, if people are gonna get upset about that, it's not really a big deal to me." And the other thing that I say is I've only cashed in one event on the PBA tour, or I don't even want to say the tour, but the regional
Regional tour,
side
yeah.
or the national event where I had to use purple, which was actually the last event I bowled. The rest of them I actually used resin the whole time. So Matt already knows what I'm talking
Matt,
about.
well, yeah, but Fazzone's chuckling, but I think it's not because of anything you said, except that you could strike with a pitch black.
I could totally
I
strike with a
think
pitch black.
that's what he's laughing at.
I could strike with a pitch black, and I could hear.
No, James, we got a problem with the audio because Austin took the night off. So sorry about the echoes.
I didn't know we had an echo.
Oh, yeah, we got an echo. I've been told 3 times.
I didn't know we had an
Yeah.
echo. I'm not listening.
Yep, Austin's got the night off, so I'm
Yeah, Matt was there for that conversation. It wasn't like a jab, but it was like, ugh.
yeah.
Another guy saying, "Here we go, another purple hammer thrower."
Right.
It's like, well, I didn't even use purple. I did for 3 games. I struck a boatload, but
Right.
then I used other balls. It's not like I use it. It's not like the only thing I can bowl with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is quite annoying. So when the new blue one comes out, they can complain about that one too.
It's not resin or not urethane. And you.
Did you see the inside of the ball?
Not like the real inside of the ball.
So like this piece where the crosshairs are.
What are we talking
Crosshairs
about?
on the ball. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
The inside says not urethane.
Oh, yeah. I know.
So like the purple reactive says reactive, the urethane says urethane, and the other one says Austin has, and then night off. Yes. Sorry, James.
Thanks, James.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, so it does say not urethane. So anytime they bring the big blue ball out, it can be quite obvious that it's not urethane.
The other thing that I'd like to point out that I think the PBA messed up on was every ball is urethane.
Well, technically speaking.
Technically speaking, every
Right.
single ball that is urethane.
Right, it has urethane components in it.
Yeah, it's literally made out of urethane with additives to make it reactive. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Right.
Now, I might be wrong.
Well,
But-
there's got to be a big difference because of how resin doesn't really get harder or softer rather, and urethane does. So there must be something about it.
Sure, but I'm just saying, I mean, every ball is urethane. So you're going to say that every urethane-like ball needs to be 78D. Okay, so that means every ball in the market needs to be 78 then. That's how I would take it. Right?
Yeah, I said this before. I don't know why when they did the rule change, it didn't just do a blanket number, but then all of those resin balls might have to be pretty close, or
Give it a year. Change the
knocked out as
urethane rule
well.
and give it a blanket rule in 2 years. That would have been probably the best thing to do. But then the other thing I look at is crap. I was gonna say something about something else. Oh, the reason it got banned on tour is because I think people who tried to make it on the tour could throw urethane and basically almost get away with it. So they would come in from the PTQ, and then I feel as if the PBA players were not scared, but they would be like, "Oh, another guy throwing purple hammer, and that's all he's gonna do." And then they're able to beat them, and then they get angry. So it's kind of like a shield for themselves as well, because all the kids who are coming up who saw on it could throw purple and make it work. And they're saying, "Oh, well, you can't just saw on it and make it work. We're gonna make you throw other stuff." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like it was also, not only was it a rule, it was also a shield to try to create an even bigger difference in the player separation, whatever the frig that means. And yes, Matt, I think every ball older than 20,
So every year there's going to be a list of balls that are not allowed, but it's
not
that-
allowed.
It's not the ball.
It can't be
it's
not
the
allowed.
Date of manufacture.
Exactly.
So if you have that old IQ tour, Justin, then
And it wasn't
and
broken.
it wasn't cracked, and you went on a national stop this coming year, then no, that ball would not be allowed because I'm guessing it's older than 2 years old.
What if I just pretend it is?
Well, the serial numbers all have the magic number in it, right? So,
How hard can that be to make an 18 and a 23?
oh, RJ Martinez is here. We forgot to say
Congratulations. Wow, you're
RJ.
so good, RJ.
RJ
Wow.
And
Brandon Boyer.
Won the tournament this weekend that we were talking about. The Baker
You're
Doubles.
really good, RJ. You're really good at throwing those motive bowling balls.
Was he throwing motive the whole time? I don't know. I'm just messing. Anyway, yeah. So congratulations, Matt. No, take it out on RJ in your own time. Stop being angry.
Matt was a little bit. Yeah, you. I thought you were gonna punch him in the gut.
Anyway, so I'm excited to see what the new blue looks like. Who knows if it'll be the same or similar, I should say. I think we already know that it's not going to be the same. I was watching Wad's video, and he was just a hair left.
Yeah, but
purple.
the ball reaction is
Overall
good enough.
reaction was very smooth, no angular, whereas the purple resin reactive is way different than.
But this is not reactive.
I understand.
This is not
It's
urethane.
not urethane. It could be resin.
I'm excited
Could
for
be-
it.
I don't know what it is. We have to find out.
Yeah,
What's going on?
yeah, Deke. None of the lefties made the finals, so it was okay. There was no lefties there. It's okay. Maybe New Year's Day.
All right. Well, guys, real quick, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Also, you can email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. And let's see, check out the social pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff to check out what's going on. And as soon as we get that video done and edited and uploaded, you will be able to see it.
I mean, the other thing too is I could do
Just do it on Instagrams.
I could, but you might not get your views on it, and then I couldn't be able like I can't talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have that time to be like, all right, guys, here's what we're looking at.
Yep.
Boom, let's hit the lanes. Now, should I use it on a house shot or on a sports shot, or should I do both? Should I do both? House shot for the house shotters and sports shot for the tournament players? 'Cause I can just oil up one lane. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Try both out. And what I would probably do is I would probably hit them all at the same surface anyways. I'll put them all at 500. That way it's a legit comparison. Nope, they are all going to be the same.
Yeah.
3.5 by 20. Off of my old axis, I will do it.
Yeah.
Because I have a new axis now, but I will just redo it. It'll make the pin a little longer, but I'm getting 2 of them. So if this one doesn't roll the greatest, we'll just fix it on the other one. Maybe I'll draw 4. I don't know.
Nice. Anyway, and that's why JR Pro Shop is nice. They show both.
Yes, they
That's it.
typically have. Yeah, I do actually. I don't mind. I like to look at the Stu.
Stu Williams.
Yeah, because he's got some decent reviews. Because what he does is he brings a ball that's comparable or the other one, or he brings like 3 out, so you can really see the difference between 3 of them.
But he's going to be all Storm products.
Yeah, but like you can,
Right.
you're looking at specific products so I can recommend certain ones to people or see how they roll.
Yeah.
It is good because he does throw it pretty spot on, and he can really talk about it pretty well. So, and JR Pro Shop is good too because they have both sides of it.
Yeah.
So that is also well.
Alrighty. So, you wanted to bring up the LBCs and some updates like the youth bowling. Is that right?
Youth bowling. Cripes. Okay, yeah, now I remember. Yeah, today Kyle was texting me. He's like, "Hey, what are we talking about tonight? What are you thinking?" I'm like, "Well, duh, Blue Hammer. Hello." But he's like, "Hey, we can't talk about that for 50
an
minutes, because then it would just get stale."
Yeah.
And so, if you have questions in the chat about the Blue Hammer, you can put them there. We'll answer them to the best of our ability. Anyways, it is blue. But we're going to talk about the LBCs. The LBCs are back. The open registration, from what I remember, is going to be in December. So if you are a league bowler for the PBA or the Bolero or a PBA member, it is $150 for your entry fee and $250 if you do not sign up before, I believe it's January 1st.
December 1st or January 1st?
If you don't, so you have a whole month. You have a
I
whole
see what you
month
mean.
to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
You get $150 before January 1st, I believe.
October 1st through December 1st for $100. That's exclusive to
Oh, it's October 1st?
October 1st through December 1st.
Wow, I read
It's
it wrong.
exclusive to PBA LBC members or
League bowler.
Bolero league bowlers.
Yeah.
PBA members and all participants of the 2023 PBA LBC National Championships. So that's people with their card, and then also the Bolero League members. Then open registration is December 2nd through January 31st. And that's everybody for $150. And then spring registration is $200 February 1st through April 30th. And late registration, May 1st through July 14th, $250.
Thanks for reading that, Kyle.
You're welcome.
The good thing is about the PBA LBCs is that they're going to be adding 2 new divisions this year. They're going to be adding a handicapped junior boys and a handicapped junior girls division. Both are going to be $2,500 to win. That's all going to be in Smart Scholarship. And then I'm sure they'll be on are you looking how to travel there from the airport?
Yeah, we already did that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they will have another 2 players in their semifinal or their final round, however they did that this year with the 1-ball thing. And it is actually guaranteed again. The Open Classic is $25,000 again, and the rest of the divisions besides the handicap divisions are $5,000 to win. And they do have a PBA exempt one. So technically, would I count in the PBA exempt, or is that actually just for the national touring players?
The points list or
So-
all the touring players, yeah, but I think it's exempt, meaning the touring players. I don't think it's just card holders,
Good. 'Cause I can't beat those guys.
card buyers.
Just Drive, it's 8 hours, I think. Deke, we've already got a little group who might want to go, but the tournament is at the same time as the OCs, and it is a 2-hour drive from Midway.
Mhm.
So it's a possibility we could get into Chicago at 8 a.m., grab our 4, or grab a few guys, travel down 2 hours, bowl our 6 games, and maybe get an afternoon flight back out of Vegas. So we
Out
might...
to Vegas.
Yeah, so we might be hitting that on the way down. I don't think on the way back would be the best idea, but
Especially if you have a bad weekend.
yep,
The OCs.
you might as well hit this one to kind of get a little bit of confidence because they do put out a little easier.
Yeah. A little less challenging of a challenge show.
Right. But, it'd be cool to participate. I wanted to participate this year, but going back out to that Milwaukee, Detroit, Michigan, whatever area would have been another expense that I wasn't expecting to do. So this year, we have got a few people who we'll see what happens. We've been chatting about it, and it might be able to work here. You know what I mean?
Sure. As long as I can take another day to go to the OCs.
What do you mean another day to OCs?
Well, I don't know that we'll be able to get in and out in a day, but maybe it's possible, especially if we're late or something. But anyway, the interesting thing is that the distance from Wauwatosa and to the airport,
Same
and
place.
airport to which is now in Prospect, Illinois, same distance,
Really?
almost to the minute. Yeah.
We should say that, yes, it is going to be in Prospect, Illinois, at Bolero Prospect or whatever
Yeah.
it's called. So it is actually, the one thing I do like about this is that it is more in the centrally
Area,
located of the country. It seems like they're moving down, which would be cool if they go to Texas too, because that might be pretty cool if they move down that way and then just kind of move back around, keep it centrally located, which would be nice. But the other thing too is that the Peterson Classic will also be back out there again. So you can also sign up for that. And I believe that will be May 10th to September 1st. So that's actually at Bolero Vernon Hills.
And that's like really hard, right?
Yeah.
Like stupid hard.
Well, back in the day, they used to have they didn't oil, or they just put different random crap down and the pins were off and you went upstairs. And my grandfather had bowled in that event. I think my father bowled in it too. And to check your bowling balls in, you would have to put your bowling ball in a shopping cart with your name on it. It would be brought into the center before you were able to go in, because it was like in an alleyway, I heard. And your bowling balls would be checked in a shopping cart and your name would be on it. So when they checked them in, they would bring them in a shopping cart and give them to you with your name on it or some crap, or what lane you're starting on.
Yeah.
And that's how they did it. And like people would be, apparently it's incredible how hard the event was, because my dad said the one place you couldn't see past the arrows because the ceiling went down.
What?
Something weird like that. So it was interesting. Like you couldn't see the pins sometimes, and they would be wonky, and the lane pattern. It obviously it wasn't the same. So
Yeah.
it was incredibly hard. I don't know what they do now if they make it like one oil pattern.
Right.
Especially with synthetic lanes now, it kind of takes out that. I don't want to say nostalgic because everybody uses that word now, and I don't really get it. It's just, it was one of like that's how bowling was back in the days. I'm just saying it was old time bowling where it is what it is. You get what you get and you figure out how to play
You get
them.
what you get and you don't get upset.
You're talking about somebody get upset, Kyle.
Well, you had a little argument this week, right? With some league bowlers. Not how hard the lanes are.
No, I didn't have an
Nick and I are
argument.
averaging 20 pins under. You oil the lanes wrong every week. Just our pair, right, Nick? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is just your pair. Yeah,
They
every week.
also added they added the juniors, so they're going to get smart money. And then yeah, we'll see if we go out there. I got to convince person that we're going to do it. That would be interesting.
Oh, I see where you found all this information underneath it. I just read the article this morning. I didn't scroll that far down.
Welcome to how things read.
Well, I don't read very well. But yeah, they will be doing the Telfies finals again, so that would be a good thing. I think we should hit it, Kyle.
Sure. Maybe if we don't do the what do we normally do?
Bowler's Journal, which the other one would be the BTM.
BTM, that's the one.
Well, BTM unfortunately doesn't oil between shifts, and that made me a little angry.
It's true. I mean, if you had we brought a full shift, basically, and then the people behind us get either you
what you guys broke it down
seconds or broken down. Yeah.
And then they whacked them, by the way, and there was only 2 on the pair.
Yeah. So maybe they're just that much better.
They didn't beat us the first shift.
Oh, they bowled the first shift. That's right.
Yeah, and then I think they stayed on the same lanes.
Oof. Yikes. Yeah, it's a weirdly run tournament.
It's just weird because it's kind of like open. You know what I mean? You can just kind of show up. It is nice to have because the lanes are definitely hard and it definitely preps you. But, you know, I don't know. I never cashed there, so I shot 640 and didn't cash. It was sad.
So finally, the first event of the 2024 season has been announced. Players Championships.
What?
Championship, January 15th.
James, we do not have lane talk here. No, we could get it, but it would slow our computers down too much because we have the 1980s AccuScore Plus.
Yeah. So no,
we use our brains. We could actually, but it just might take too long to.
We'll have to wait for the AI scoring from the World Bowling League.
Yeah. Carbon footprint will be erased.
Yeah,
talking about?
Phones, I did not know that, but it doesn't matter who I bowl. We're losing anyway.
Jesus.
Maybe with the new grip, it'll be better.
Probably will be.
Anyway, yeah. So, I'm sorry. The Stipulated finals are on the 15th. But yeah, in January, got our first tournament in the.
It's the
PBA
Players
Championship.
Wasn't that at the back of the schedule last year?
Last year it was the same. I think they did the same thing last year, that they opened up with something.
No.
Either like that or we'll find out in a second.
It couldn't be because last year the Players Championship was held in.
No, it was the U.S. Open last year to start.
New Jersey was held the Players Championship last year, and I was debating going, but then I had something to do. Oh, Janelle's graduation.
Right.
Because I was gonna try and qualify for
Players
it.
Championship was in April last year.
Yeah,
so
and
I don't understand why they do these schedule changes where it's like 1 year the U.S. Open will open up, another year. This year Players Championship, and then another year it'll be Tournament of Champions or whatever. It's just like it's always something different. Why not have a similar schedule where okay, I got to get ready for the U.S. Open because it's.
I would think that the U.S. Open would be more middle year. They'd have even the
middle of the season
or the Players Championship. Yeah, but for the PBA schedule, you think it would open up with. I don't want to say the rinky-dink stops, but the not televised ones, the standard format. And then you start to break into the bigger events as you go along. U.S. Open Players Championship to start. Where's the Players Championship while you're on the schedule?
And to answer that question, though, I think that's they do it to try to gain viewership.
Like, hey, we're starting off with the.
So that opening with a major, they're trying to get some.
It's the PBA, not very smart. Well, Deke, I mean, you said it, not me.
It's going to be in Wichita.
Oh, that sucks because I actually was interested in bowling that because the field is bigger, so I would have a better chance of making it.
Well, let's look real quick. Did the PBA? I don't think they did. They didn't announce the U.S. Open yet, right?
I don't know. To James, your question: will we ever get new scoring? I'm sure we would eventually get new scoring, but our scoring works really well for league play and tournament play, and I don't really see a benefit in getting the newer scoring. For open play,
for your regular leagues,
maybe
I
one day.
Agree, but
I'd prefer to spend the 220 to 50,000 somewhere else.
Here, but in a different manner.
Personally,
yeah. But yeah,
I don't mind it. It'd be nice to have. It'd be nice to have, absolutely. But at the same time, there's apps on your phones that do it if you just click the numbers. You know what I mean?
but also there are some other like tournament wise. I think the new scoring is like a really good idea
Pizza wings.
because you
It's
have
aggressive.
the ability to move the names and it keeps the scores for
Yeah,
you,
I could do a
all
lot
that
with
good
it. I
stuff.
really could do a lot with it,
Um,
and it'd make a lot of things better. But at the same time,
But-
for the
but
investment,
your
it doesn't bring
day-to-day-
it doesn't bring more people
right,
in.
your
It doesn't
day-to-day
do
leagues
anything
or
extra.
bowling, I don't think that ROI is there because it's like who really pays attention to the scoring. When
50K buys a lot.
It is not $50,000.
Ah, okay. No, he's saying 50K buys a lot.
Of his previous comment. I got
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I mean the scoring is not manual, obviously, but it's
No, it's
he's just
automatic.
talking about keeping his average or whatever, or his missed pins, or
Oh, you're talking about that? Yeah. I mean, honestly, I mean, shoot. I mean, I just pay attention to it. Like, all right, I don't really need to know my percentage because I feel like if you're making them in league, you're gonna make them anywhere else, and you know when
you're
you're in a
throwing
rut or
straight
you're
out.
not. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know when you're in a rut or not. But
Yeah.
in terms of you don't want to do manual. I guess so. I guess it's a convenience factor. I know a lot of guys have the Pin Talk or the Pin app or whatever it's
Pin
called,
pals, yeah.
Pin Pals, and you just
Just
because it's easier to
walk
track
back to the
because.
phone, the pin that you missed or made
Right.
or whatever.
And I think it depends on your situation too, because James, if you're bowling in a center that has lane talk, you've already got the convenience. But for guys who travel and go other places and they don't have lane talk or they don't have it turned on, if you want your
Yeah, there's
stats,
been a
you're
number of those tournaments too that they
yeah,
don't even turn
they
the
just
lane
don't turn
talk
it on.
Yeah.
So you end up not getting your stats. So your stats are going to be skewed. You can't really see. So why not just keep track of them yourself with the Pin Pal or the Pin Talk? Because it's probably going to cost you
There's a bunch of
the
different
same amount as Lane Talk's premium. And I know Lane Talk is nice because they have tournaments and stuff, but if you're just looking to keep the score or keep your statistics, you could almost do anything. I think it might be a little bit of a hassle, but at the same time, to me, if you're really that interested in it, then it's probably worth you doing yourself anyways, because you could probably filter through a few things and put notes down while you're on your phone versus just having a
notes,
Lane
what
Talk.
balls you're using.
Yep.
You can store your arsenal in some of
What
them.
is up, Zach Rigervelt? And I appreciate you and I love you.
So yeah, I completely agree that the investment for scoring, in my opinion, not my money, but the investment for scoring, that money, like you said, can be put into way more convenience factors for the entire bowling center, like updates or rehabs or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Than something that's
Like I said, it'd be nice to have, but it's not a necessity.
right.
Right,
And now
right.
new scoring would make it easier on some employees too, probably, because then people like more and more people just don't know how to use these things. Yeah, you should talk to Matt Fazzone. He does it every single frame.
He does.
His phone.
I don't know if he did it this
Steely
weekend.
Bones in there. I think he does it too.
Austin does it. Rich
So, yeah,
Manzer does it.
there's a lot of
These
who do it on
guys.
their phone.
Well, the other thing too is what's your social aspect? Because if you're out there talking to your teammates too, I can understand where that might interfere. But for me, like 90% of the people are on their phones anyways nowadays. The reason that I would prefer to have it manual is because the note process could be there too. Like if you just get lane talk, yeah, sure, you can write in what you're using. But at the same time, I can do it manually and I can write down, I moved 2 boards or keep notes on that instead of saying, well, when did I move 2 boards on the Lane Talk app and can I add that note in? So I think there's pros and cons to both. If you can't remember to track every frame, then Lane Talk is definitely your friend. But if you're really looking to be a little bit more in depth, I think that the pin tracker, whatever it is going to be a little bit more in depth
And
for
I'm
your
totally
game.
that guy. I forget all the time. So I tried doing it, and I'm like, I already forgot. Like, and I would have to
Yeah.
go back half a game, look at the score, and be like, okay, I did. I think that was a
Yeah.
6. Yep. It's a 9 miss. It must have been a 2 pin. Okay, 2 pins are hard, so I can figure that one out. But yeah, I agree. If you're gonna keep track of it, keep track of it. It's nice that Lane Talk
Is done
so
right.
easy, but not everybody has it.
Yeah, you do have to upgrade the whole system. And I actually have my computer systems actually in the bar and the snack bar all connected to my front desk, which goes to my back office. So not only can I ring people out from the bar at the snack bar, I can ring people out from the desk, from the bar and the snack bar, add everything
All
to a
from the same
lane.
things. You can do the lane
So,
from there.
Yep, I can do everything at once from each station.
From there, yeah.
So you're talking at least 250 for the new Cubica system. Brunswick, I think, is probably would be around 200. So
probably more since the last time you got those prices.
I raised them both.
Okay.
I raised them both. So anyways, I did do all the research on it. I actually had interviews and phone calls and computer time with these people.
Yeah.
I like both. I think both are great, but you know, if lane talk is the one thing that people are going to complain about, it is what it is. Because I know a lot of centers are having trouble running these systems right out of the gate, anyways, because they're so complex. So.
Yeah, and they take a lot of bandwidth. So like they take a ton of your internet service. In order
Well, to do lane talk, so the other thing too is James, is your lane talk has to talk to be live. It has to be done every minute or 2 minutes. Ours wouldn't be done for 10 minutes. Ours would update every 10 minutes, so it technically wouldn't be live either. So, you know, it wouldn't really.
But from the bowler standpoint, they're getting their stats. I think is what he's talking
possibly.
About. Not just what you're talking about is people being able to live watch your scores.
Yeah, sure.
But for the people that are getting their stats, that's a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But like it wouldn't be live either. So the other thing too is like, would it track it properly? Because I've got lane talk stuff where it hasn't tracked my spares properly all the time.
100%.
It'll give me like a random spare in there, and I'm like, well, I never left that today, and I remember that game. Yeah. So that's incorrect. So, but yeah, I think it's up to what people want. So. Stats are what I'd be interested in.
And if you haven't looked at them already, check out those apps. I know one is Pin Pals, and there's a couple other ones. Some are expensive, some aren't, or some are free. But they keep track of all your stats because all you do is just type in what pins were left, or if you got a strike or whatever. You can, I believe, also put in on some of the ones that I saw.
What ball?
Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. What ball? What lane pattern? If you know it. The bowling alley, all the different parts of information. So
Lane Talk is doing that too now.
Oh, automatic.
They're adding balls into their little category, and then you're able to choose patterns, so that way you can see which ball worked better on what, because you can actually tell them what ball you use for what frame.
Yeah.
And then it'll give you their percentage of strike for the duo or the chill or the fireball.
I saw that the last
They're
time
starting to upgrade that. But that's also, I believe, if you want to do that, is a paid. Yeah, you only get X amount of games, I think, on there. I don't really know. I don't pay attention. I have it in case I do go to a center for the regionals or something.
Well, I also have it because I'm watching people's scores. So, like, I'll
I don't
log
care.
in and watch either you or Joey or whoever.
Yeah. I don't particularly look at the stats. I don't look at my spare percentage or anything like that.
Pin Pal can track pins left, what ball for each frame, pattern, and location. So yes, that's what I was referring to. That's the app I must have been remembering.
Yeah, it's too much for me.
So the guy that says, take notes, take notes, take notes. You can't take a second to put in your
first of all,
misses or leads.
Listen, I'm telling people, do as I say, not as I do. I do actually take notes.
What's good for me is not for thee.
When I go to an event, after the event is finished and I have processed the information, I will go back into my notepad on my iPhone and I will then write my notes. I don't care what pins I left.
Dude, Pizza Wings is on fire tonight.
Jesus.
You on the sauce, Pizza Wings? Holy cow.
Well, I didn't know I was lefty scum. I know you don't like me, Pizza Wings. But I end up going back to my notes and I'll write stuff in there. What balls I used. I don't typically need to know what ball I used each game because it is what it is for me. But I don't really care what struck more than the other one because they're all going to strike a different amount all the time. So I don't need to know which one strikes on 41 feet the best. Well, okay, but if my fresh pattern is ball X, Y, and Z, I don't need, and the other balls are good for transition or for when they're hooking a little more, then I don't really need to know. I just need to know what balls to go to get me close to my look. So for me, it's not as much all that stuff they're giving out, which is nice to have. I'm a stupid bowler, and that's not a joke. I'm a stupid bowler. I make calculated decisions, but I get up there and do it. So having too much information for me would be too much. I don't want it. I just want to go up there and I want to feel it. Kyle hates that.
Just feel it.
Just feel it. That's what I tell people.
All right, guys.
Stuck itching my nose on the screen. There we go.
You guys were awesome tonight. You guys gave us a lot.
Thanks for the chat, James. I appreciate that, brother.
And
hopefully your place has lane talk.
Pizza Wings, thank you for whatever that was tonight.
You're on it tonight, baby. You're on it.
Guys, it is time for us to go bowling.
No, it's not.
Right. Why not?
I gotta drill your balls.
Oh, that's right. It's time for my grips to get changed. Not just my finger grips, everything. So don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel.
I love that pizza wings.
You can always email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out the social pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the Etsy shop. Don't forget about the Etsy shop. You guys can get some Downlane Podcast, Lefty Love, or Bulk Food.
We need some new, you know.
Yeah, we know. I started editing it. I got a shirt. It's coming.
I just don't know how to make one. Like I don't have the.
We know.
I need the different program.
We've seen your flyers for your tournaments, so
They're
we know
good.
that you have no creative ability.
They're nice.
Have you guys seen a Word document?
What else would they be?
I don't know, some advertising flair.
By the way, it's PowerPoint.
All right, guys. Well, thank you to Jack Scaccia, proprietor of Town and Country Lanes. Austin, hope you're feeling better tonight. Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan.
Jam bread. I'm zoned out. I'm sorry. These guys are yelling behind
Oh,
me.
my goodness.
I'm just thinking about how many balls I got to fix for you guys.
You are ridiculous. We will see you guys next week. Yes.